Hey everyone, welcome back to Fluento, everyday English for real life. I'm really happy you're here, and I'm even happier because David walked into the studio with, what is that, a giant cup of coffee?
It's not that big. Okay, no, it is big, but I needed it. You know those mornings when your brain is awake but your body says, no thank you, maybe later?
Oh yes, the mornings when you wake up tired.
Exactly. And that actually connects perfectly with what we're talking about today, right? That feeling of being tired, but still having something important to do. The topic today, one of my favorite motivational lines ever, don't stop when you're tired, stop when you're done.
I love that line. It sounds simple, but it's really about discipline, motivation, and even self-kindness. And it's something every language learner, every student, every worker, every person trying to grow will understand.
And honestly, something I need today because I woke up tired, but I didn't want to cancel the recording. I didn't want to stop. I wanted to show up, do the work, and finish the episode because I know how good it feels afterwards.
And that's the heart of it, isn't it? That feeling afterwards. You know, in English, we sometimes say the satisfaction of completion. It means that special, deep, warm feeling you get inside when you finish something hard.
It's so true. That moment when you close your laptop after finishing a big task, or you finally wash the last dish in the sink, or you finish your English practice for the day, and your brain goes, yes, I did that.
It's almost like your brain gives you a hug, a little reward.
Ooh, I like that. A brain hug. That is officially my new expression. I'm going to use it everywhere.
And this idea, don't stop when you're tired, connects with something many language learners experience. That moment during a lesson or a conversation when the brain gets tired. And it happens fast with languages because you're processing new vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation, social cues, everything at once.
Absolutely, and there's a little language teaching moment here that I think is powerful. When we talk about being tired, English has two very common phrases. I'm tired and I'm exhausted. Tired means your energy is low. Exhausted means you have no energy left.
And learners often ask, when do I use which? So here's a natural difference. If you had a long day, or you studied a lot, or you didn't sleep well, you can say, I'm tired. But if you just worked for 10 hours, or moved apartments, or ran a marathon, or had a super stressful day, I'm exhausted.
Exactly. And the phrase, don't stop when you're tired, really means don't stop when you're just low on energy. Stop when the task is complete.
Not until you're exhausted, but until you are done with what matters.
And Anna, you said something earlier before we started recording. You said this topic connects with your personal life right now. What did you mean?
Oh yes, so I've been working on a writing project for a long time. And writing, for me, is a little like learning a language. Some days it feels easy. Words just flow, I feel inspired. And some days, every sentence feels like I'm trying to push a heavy rock up a hill.
That is such a good metaphor, like you're Sisyphus.
Yes! And on those days, my brain gets tired so quickly. I start thinking, maybe I should take a break. Maybe I'll continue tomorrow. And sometimes I really do need rest, but other times, I'm just uncomfortable. I'm not truly tired, I'm just escaping the discomfort of effort.
And that's something important. Discomfort is not the same as tiredness.
Exactly. And when I remember my goal, why I started the writing project, something changes. I still feel tired, but I also feel motivated because stopping early makes me feel irritated later. But finishing makes me feel proud.
Proud. That's such a powerful word. If you're listening right now, remember it. Proud is not just happy. It's a deeper feeling. It's the feeling of knowing you did something meaningful.
And sometimes that feeling is worth the discomfort. It carries you. It teaches discipline.
But Anna, I want to bring up something important here. Sometimes people misunderstand this idea. They think, don't stop when you're tired means push yourself until you are completely burned out.
Burned out means totally exhausted, mentally and emotionally. Empty.
Exactly, and we never want learners to overwork themselves. There's a difference between healthy discipline and unhealthy pressure.
Absolutely. And I think that's why the done part is so important. It doesn't say, don't stop no matter what. It doesn't say, push until you collapse. It says, finish your goal. And your goal should be reasonable, something achievable.
That brings me to something I wanted to talk about. Micro goals, small, daily goals.
Like reading one page or learning 3 words.
Exactly. Last year, I used an app to study a language, and my goal every day was only 5 minutes. And you'd think, 5 minutes? That's nothing. But that was the point. Even when I was tired, 5 minutes felt doable. If my goal had been 30 minutes, on tired days, I would have stopped before starting.
And that's a great language teaching moment. Doable means it's possible and realistic. Something you can actually accomplish even on difficult days.
And here's the interesting part. Often, after 5 minutes, my brain would warm up. I'd think, okay, maybe 5 more minutes. And then suddenly I'd study for 20 minutes just because I started.
It happens to me too. It's like a trick for your brain. Starting is the hardest part.
Oh, yes, absolutely. You know, in English, we have the expression getting the ball rolling. It means starting a process. And once the ball is rolling, momentum carries it forward. And it's the same with effort.
I have another expression, showing up. It means being present, making the effort to start, even if you don't feel ready or perfect.
And language learning is full of showing up moments. For example, when you join a conversation group even though you're nervous, or you talk to someone in English even though you're afraid of mistakes.
And speaking of mistakes, you know how many learners stop because they're tired, but it's actually fear or frustration?
Oh, yes, so many times. They say, I'm too tired to continue. But the real feeling is, I'm afraid to make a mistake, or I'm frustrated because I don't understand.
Exactly. And sometimes we confuse emotional tiredness with physical tiredness.
That's actually an important language point. In English, we sometimes use the phrase mentally drained. It means your mind feels empty or heavy because something is challenging.
And when that happens, remembering why you started can help, or taking a short break, not a full stop, just a break to reset.
What you said reminds me of something from last week. I was at the gym. Yes, I know. Surprising.
I am surprised. You don't usually talk about the gym.
Well, I'm trying. I'm really trying. Anyway, I was doing a set of exercises, and I reached the 9th repetition, and my arms were shaking, and my brain said, stop. But I hadn't finished the set. The goal was 12.
And what did you do?
I paused. I took a breath, not stopping the workout entirely, just taking a moment. Then I did the last 3. Slowly, but I did them. And I felt so good afterwards. Not because the exercise was perfect, but because I finished what I promised myself I would finish.
That's such a powerful point. Sometimes you don't have to do it fast. You don't even have to do it beautifully. You just have to do it.
Exactly. And I realized finishing slowly still counts as finishing.
I think a lot of English learners need to hear that. You don't need to speak fluently right away. You don't need to understand every word. You don't need to read fast. You just need to keep going.
And honestly, progress doesn't look dramatic. It's not fireworks. It's slow, steady growth. That's why people get discouraged. They expect progress to feel like a big moment, but most of the time it's a quiet thing.
Yes, progress is often invisible while it's happening. You only notice it weeks later when suddenly you understand something you couldn't understand before, or you say something automatically without thinking about grammar.
That reminds me of a student I had years ago. She studied English every night for 10 minutes, just 10 minutes, and she told me she felt like she wasn't improving. But then she went on a trip and she ordered food at a restaurant, asked for directions, had a small conversation with someone at the hotel, all in English. And she told me, "David, I didn't even realize I was speaking English. It just happened."
That is the magic moment when learning becomes using, when your brain stops being tired by the language and becomes comfortable with it.
Yes, and it comes from small, consistent moments of not giving up too early.
I love the phrase, don't give up. Learners hear it a lot, but it's worth repeating. Give up means stop trying, quit, let go of the effort.
And it's interesting, this topic isn't about working harder, it's about working steadier, more consistent. Not perfect, but consistent.
Exactly. And you know what? This idea also applies emotionally. Sometimes we feel tired emotionally, not physically, because something is difficult or new or scary. And emotional tiredness can make us stop too early. For language learners, fear of mistakes is a huge emotional weight.
Definitely. And you know what's interesting? When children learn languages, they don't have that emotional tiredness. They don't get embarrassed. They don't care if the sentence is wrong. They just speak.
Adults are different. We think too much. We analyze. We worry about how we sound. And that drains energy faster than grammar does.
So true. And that's why I always tell learners, mistakes are not a sign of failure. They are signs of progress. They mean you're trying.
And trying is what creates results, not perfection.
And really, this whole topic comes down to a simple question. What do you want more, comfort now or progress later?
That is the real question. And there's no judgment. Sometimes you need rest. Rest is human. But often we use "I'm tired" as a mask for "I don't want to do something difficult."
I think every person in the world does that sometimes. Oh, yes, including me, especially me.
Including me too.
Anna, have you ever had a moment where you almost quit something because you felt tired, but then you pushed through and were glad you did?
Oh, so many. Let me think of a good example. Yes, okay. A few years ago, I took a course, an online class I was very excited about. But halfway through, the work got heavier. The lessons got longer. And one week, I was so tired after work, and I thought, maybe I'll skip this week. And skipping 1 week can turn into skipping 2, then 3, then quitting.
It's the snowball effect.
Yes, but I told myself, just do 5 minutes. And I did. And after 5 minutes, I wanted to finish the lesson. And I did. And that momentum helped me finish the whole course. And that course changed my career.
Wow, that's amazing. And it started with 5 minutes.
5 minutes. A tiny push at the moment when the sofa looked more attractive than the laptop.
Oh, the sofa is always attractive.
Yes, it is. And every learner listening knows that feeling. The moment when you have a book or a video lesson or homework and the sofa says, "Come on, just relax."
The sofa is evil. Comfortable, but evil.
They're not evil. They're just persuasive.
That's such a good word, persuasive. It means something has the power to convince you, to influence you.
Yes, the sofa is persuasive, but your goals are meaningful.
And meaningful things require effort.
And meaningful effort feels beautiful when it's complete.
You know, while we were talking earlier, something popped into my mind. It's a cultural thing about English-speaking countries, especially the US. There's a very common expression you hear all the time.
"You've got this."
Oh, yes, that one is so encouraging. It basically means you can do this. You're capable. You're stronger than you think.
Exactly. And we say it when someone feels tired or overwhelmed, especially kids or students or friends. In a way, it's the friendly version of today's topic. Don't stop, keep going, I believe in you.
It's funny how languages carry encouragement differently. In some cultures, people encourage each other by being very direct. Come on, don't be lazy. In others, encouragement is quieter. Take your time, but keep going. But the meaning is the same. We push each other toward progress.
And learning a language is such a long journey that sometimes encouragement matters more than grammar. Honestly, I think encouragement is the secret fuel of language learning.
I agree. When a student feels supported, they try harder, they stay longer, and they push through the moments when they're tired. And that brings me to another thought. The difference between being tired and being bored.
Oh, yes, they can feel similar, but they're not the same at all.
Right, when you're tired, your brain just needs rest. But when you're bored, your brain needs variety, challenge, or something meaningful. Sometimes learners say, I'm tired of studying English, but what they really mean is, I'm bored with how I study English.
Exactly. A student once told me, David, I'm so tired of English videos. And I asked, okay, what kind of videos? He said, grammar videos. I said, well, of course you're tired. No one wants to watch only grammar videos. I told him, try movies, podcasts, music, interviews, cooking videos. And he got excited again.
Variety is important. You don't stop when the task feels boring. You switch the method. You don't have to suffer. You just have to continue.
And that's a beautiful part of this phrase. Don't stop when you're tired doesn't mean torture yourself. It means be honest about why you want to stop.
Exactly. Sometimes your body is tired. Sometimes your mind is tired. Sometimes your heart is tired. And sometimes your method is tired.
I love that. A tired method.
Yes, if you study the same thing every day in the same way, it becomes heavy. But if you change the format, use music one day, a podcast the next, a short story another day, your brain wakes up again.
And waking up the brain is often enough to keep going.
You know what this reminds me of? The idea of active rest.
Oh yes, a fascinating concept.
Active rest means you rest from one kind of work by doing another kind of activity. For example, if you're tired from studying grammar, you can rest by listening to English music. If you're tired of reading, you can rest by speaking or writing.
And that works so well for language learning because the skills are connected, but they activate different parts of your mind.
Exactly. It's like using different muscles.
You know, I once talked to a polyglot, someone who speaks many languages, and he told me his secret. He said, I never stop learning. I just change how I learn. When he gets tired of grammar, he switches to movies. When he gets tired of movies, he switches to podcasts. When he gets tired of podcasts, he switches to speaking.
That's so smart, and it's sustainable. It keeps you in motion without exhaustion.
Sustainable, that's a good word for learners. Sustainable means something you can continue for a long time without burning out.
Yes, and a sustainable study routine is the opposite of study for 4 hours today, 0 tomorrow. It's about consistency, not intensity.
Absolutely. And that leads to something I really want to talk about, identity.
Identity? That's interesting. What do you mean?
I mean, when you start seeing yourself not just as someone who studies English, but as someone who uses English, or even further, as an English speaker, even before you're fluent.
Oh, I love this topic. Identity shapes our actions.
Yes. And when you identify as an English speaker, even at a beginner level, you naturally push yourself further. You don't stop when you're tired because speakers use their language. Learners practice. Speakers communicate.
And
your brain follows your identity. If your identity is, I'm not good at English, then you stop early. But if your identity is, I am an English speaker, learning more every day, then you don't stop when you're tired. You stop when you're done.
Exactly. Identity fuels effort.
And learners listening right now, you don't have to wait for perfect grammar to claim your identity. You are already an English speaker if you are here, listening, understanding, practicing, learning.
And honestly, identity also helps with something many learners struggle with: motivation.
Motivation is a tricky friend. Sometimes it's here, sometimes it's not.
Yes, people think motivation is always supposed to be strong, but motivation comes and goes. Consistency stays.
And discipline carries you when motivation is gone.
You know, this whole topic makes me think of a phrase we use in English: second wind.
Oh, yes. Great phrase. Explain it.
A second wind is a moment when you feel tired, but then suddenly you get new energy and you can continue. Runners experience it a lot. They start running, get tired, want to stop, but if they keep going a little more, suddenly their body feels lighter and they can run more easily.
And language learners get second winds too. Like when you study and feel sleepy, but you keep going for a few minutes and suddenly your brain wakes up again.
It's real, and it happens more often when your goal is clear.
Speaking of goals, here's something interesting. Sometimes people make goals that are too big. I will study 2 hours every day. I will learn 50 new words a week. And then they feel like failures when they can't do it.
Oh, I've done that too. I once made a plan to study a language for 1 hour every morning. It lasted 2 days.
That is very human.
And then I learned something important. It's better to aim small and succeed than aim big and quit.
Absolutely. Tiny goals, tiny wins.
That reminds me of a personal story. I haven't told this one on the podcast before. So, years ago, when I was trying to get in shape, I told myself I would run every day for 30 minutes. And on day 1, I was full of energy. Day 2, I was okay. Day 3, I was dead.
I can imagine.
I wanted to quit. I wanted to stop because I was tired. But I realized the real problem wasn't tiredness. It was my unrealistic goal. So I changed my goal to just 10 minutes. And when I did 10 minutes, I was done. I didn't force myself to do more. And slowly, without even noticing, 10 minutes became 15, then 20, then 30.
That's amazing. You made progress by being kind to yourself.
Exactly. And that is another important point. Discipline doesn't mean punishing yourself. It means guiding yourself with honesty and kindness.
And honesty means knowing the difference between tired and done.
Yes, so many people stop because of discomfort, not because they completed anything.
Discomfort is normal. Growth is uncomfortable. Using a new language is uncomfortable. Reading something difficult is uncomfortable.
But discomfort is temporary. Progress is permanent.
That's such a good line. I want to repeat it. Discomfort is temporary. Progress is permanent.
And I think every learner listening right now knows that feeling of getting something right for the first time, like finally understanding a joke in English, or finally having a conversation with someone and not translating in your head.
Or watching a movie without subtitles for the first time.
Oh yes, that moment. You may not understand every word, but you understand enough, and you realize, wow, I'm doing it.
And that moment happens because you didn't stop when the process felt tiring.
You know, this reminds me of something from my childhood. My dad used to say something simple: finish the job you started. He didn't say it in a strict way. It was gentle, but it stuck with me.
I love that. My parents taught me something similar. My mother used to say, little by little, the work gets done.
And both of those fit this topic perfectly.
You don't stop when the work feels heavy. You keep going a little more until you're done.
And you know what? Being tired means you're human. But finishing means you're dedicated.
Oh, I love that. I'm going to steal that line, Anna.
Go ahead.
So, Anna, what do you think is the biggest barrier learners face when they want to continue but feel tired?
I think the biggest barrier is fear. Fear of failure, fear of mistakes, fear of not being good enough.
Yes, that emotional tiredness again.
Exactly. And emotional tiredness can be heavier than physical tiredness. When you feel afraid, your brain wants to run away. And it tells you, stop, don't do it, you're tired.
But the truth is, the fear gets quieter when you take action.
Yes, the first step is always the hardest. But once you begin, fear loses power.
That's why I always tell learners, speak even when your grammar is messy. Read even when the text is difficult. Listen even when you don't understand everything. Action creates clarity.
And clarity reduces fear.
And reducing fear gives you more energy. It's like a cycle.
Yes, a positive cycle. And at the center of the cycle is perseverance.
Perseverance, another beautiful English word. It means continuing even when something is difficult.
And that word is the heart of our topic today. Perseverance is what helps you reach done.
You know what I want to do? I want to imagine a listener right now. Maybe they worked all day. Maybe they're tired. Maybe their room is messy. Maybe their English notebook is sitting on the desk waiting. And they are thinking, maybe tomorrow.
I know that feeling so well.
And if that listener is hearing us right now, I want to say something to them directly. You don't need to do everything today. You don't need to become fluent today. You just need to finish the small goal you decided for today.
Yes, and that small goal could be simple. 1 page, 5 minutes, a short practice, a little step.
And when you finish, you will feel that done feeling, that beautiful moment when your brain says, good job.
And that feeling is better than avoiding the work. It's better than the sofa. It's better than quitting.
And the amazing thing, that feeling never disappears. Once you earn it, it stays with you.
Yes, it becomes part of your identity, part of your confidence.
And confidence leads to bigger goals.
And bigger goals lead to more growth.
And more growth leads to fluency, real fluency, deep fluency.
And imagine how proud you'll be one day when you realize that you speak English easily, naturally, fluently. Not because you were never tired, but because you didn't stop when you were tired.
Exactly.
You know, David, I think there's something beautiful about finishing what you start. It teaches discipline, yes, but it also teaches self-respect.
That's true. When you finish, you prove to yourself that your goals matter, that you matter.
And that's why I always tell learners, your English journey is not just about language. It's about who you become while learning.
Wow, say that again.
Your English journey is not just about language. It's about who you become while learning.
That is so powerful and so true. English becomes a vehicle, a tool for growth.
Exactly. You become more confident, more patient, more courageous, more disciplined.
And those qualities stay with you forever. They're bigger than vocabulary, bigger than grammar.
Yes, and when you think of it that way, the effort becomes meaningful. Not just a task, but a transformation.
And every transformation has moments of tiredness, but also moments of triumph.
And you only reach triumph by crossing the bridge of effort.
Wow, okay, that was poetic.
Maybe I'm tired, and tired Anna becomes poetic Anna.
Well, poetic Anna is inspiring, and I think right now a listener somewhere in the world might be nodding, thinking, okay, I can do 5 minutes today. I can finish one small goal.
And that is enough. Enough to grow, enough to continue, enough to feel proud.
And when they finish, maybe they'll smile just a little and say,
I'm tired, and I'm done. And that feels good.
Yes, that's the magic moment.
So before we end, let's talk directly to our listeners again. If you're listening right now, we want you to know this. Your effort matters. Your progress matters. Your small steps matter. And you are stronger than you think.
So today, when you feel tired, don't stop right away. Take a breath, remember your goal, and finish the small task you promised yourself. Just one.
And when you finish, celebrate that moment. Enjoy the pride. Enjoy the progress.
And keep going tomorrow, and the next day, and the day after that.
Because that's how fluency is built, step by step, effort by effort, moment by moment.
You don't need to be perfect. You just need to stay in motion.
And don't stop when you're tired.
Stop when you're done.
We are so proud of you, truly.
And we can't wait to see you again in the next episode.
Keep going
Keep growing.
and keep speaking.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. And remember, you've got this.